Hey, this is Chris the Idaho Painter. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is one of many videos out of my new construction course. Everything you need to know about painting a new construction interior. If you want to see that course, it's over and available at paintlifesupply.com. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We've got a lot more that you can see later on. All right, in this lesson, I'm going to be talking about masking. I'm masking a room. I'm going to go over some of the tools I have when doing, well, I'll just start from the top, the door jambs. I always have a tough gaff with me and 1.5" tape. So all your door jambs are gonna be run with 1.5" tape. I use a variety of frog tapes. I'll do a lesson on what frog tapes I use when it comes to new construction and why I use them in another lesson. But when it comes to cutting like sharp corners and stuff, I typically have a 2-edge knife that has a blade. I always switch that blade out and have a nice sharp blade. I have a second blade with me, and this could suffice for just the one blade. This is used for cutting the plastic for door jambs. You need something with a long blade to be able to cut through your plastic. This one makes it a little bit difficult if you're just trying to use a 2-edge knife to do it. So I typically have, this is what we call a snap knife. They're just a couple bucks that I use that just for cutting my plastic, for my door jambs. Before I mask my baseboards, I have a duster brush because I sand my walls. So one of the very first things I came in here, sanded the walls, made sure they're smooth. That's going to create dust on the baseboards. I have a duster brush to dust off baseboards. I have a putty knife with me. You may run into something on the walls while you're doing your final masking. There's spackle outside there. You just may run into a situation where you have one last thing. You got a spackle when you were actually sanding. I might have seen one last thing. You want to get it all before you spray your top coat. There's nothing like spraying the top coat than having to do a touch up right in the middle of the walls. You can see X's where I had patches where we saw with our inspection light where we patch things. I have my gloves when I'm sanding. I don't use gloves when I'm masking at all. I use my gloves when I'm getting ready to spray. I'll put my gloves on, then I'll run my fingers on my masking tape right before I spray to get one final press, because some places they'll start to come loose, possibly depending on the type of paint you're using. Typically have 2 maskers. I always have a paper masker and a plastic masker. Whatever you do, do not load and reload your maskers from plastic to paper. Always have 2. You're not nearly as fast as efficient if you're switching around. So typically have 2 with me or 2 in the room. Straight cut blade on there for cutting. You can see right there, that actually didn't cut straight right there. And that's what the straight cut blade is supposed to resolve. So the straight cut blade actually was off the roll. That's why I didn't cut it straight. So blades, film blades on both maskers. Even my paper masker has a film blade. That way your maskers are universal. You can't use a paper blade on plastic. So I hate switching blades. I don't have any paper blades even in my vehicle. So maskers with me, ladder hook, so you can actually keep your masker with you while you're masking. There's nothing like walking back and forth and grabbing your tools. You can see I have all these tools are with me, so do not have them laying around and having to go get them and search for them. Knee pads. Actually, I started using these knee pads recently. Got them from the International Building Show. Every pair of knee pads I've ever worn in my life slide down my legs. I can't stand them. These actually work absolutely amazing. So when I'm caulking baseboards and masking baseboards, I really like wearing knee pads. They actually make me faster. I can move faster, and my knees aren't bothering me when I'm masking.